Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of 2017's The Post. I do believe it's 2017. Is it? Yeah, 2017. I had to double check. This is a movie released by DreamWorks, but it actually is a Fox DreamWorks movie. If you can look right there, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but since it's DreamWorks, I have to talk about it. So, The Post is a movie, like I said, again, this came out in 2017. I'll run down the cast in this, because this is a pretty stacked cast. We have Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, as I said. This also has Sarah Paulson, Bob Odenkirk, Tracy Letts, Bradley Whitford, Bruce Greenwood, and Matthew Rafe, I think it is. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. It is actually written by Liz Hand and John Singer. It's actually produced by Amy Pascal, with cinematography done by Spielberg's longtime collaborator, Janusz Kaminski, who also did cinematography for Catch Me If You Can. So, anyways, if my parents are talking downstairs, I do apologize. If it gets a little too crazy, I'll stop the video and come back to it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about The Post. Alright, I'm back, guys. So, yes, we're talking about The Post again. So, yeah, so I think I already ran down the cast and crew. Let's talk about The Post. So, let's run down what this, like I said, let's talk about The Post. Demean to uphold, I'll start back at the beginning. Oscar winner Steven Spielberg, Meryl Streep, and Tom Hanks team for the first time in this thrilling film based on a true story. Demeaning to uphold the national civil liability, Katharine Graham, publisher of the Washington Post, and hard-nosed editor Ben Bradlee, joins the forces to expose a decade-long cover-up, but the two must risk their careers and their freedom to bring the truth to light in this powerful film with a celebrated cast, also known as a stacked cast. So, if you've seen the movie All the President's Men, was it All the I forget. There's a Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford film. I'm blanking on that title, though. Was it All the President's? I don't think it's All the President's Men. I'm trying to think. What was the name of that movie? It was a story about Bob Woodward and somebody else. It was an Alan J. Pakula movie. I'm blanking on it. I'll try to put what the title is again in the video description. Not sure what. I think it might have been All the President's Men. I'm dwelling too long on this. By the way, this is a really good movie. So, this movie focused on that story of these two people who work for the Washington Post. And it's set in 1971. It begins in Vietnam. Then we cut to 1971. I thought this movie took place in the 80s. I thought it did take place in the 80s, but I guess I was wrong. So, basically, these two guys are trying to crack down clues on Nixon, on Lyndon Johnson, a lot of presidents before that with wars that go on. So eventually it escalates into the Vietnam War, and then they try to go through Nixon's presidency, and they try to crack down clues, which again, that's the gist of the movie. I love The Post. This was a really hard movie to rate, and when I get to the rating, I'll explain why. So, right off the bat, stellar performance. Hanks and Streep are great. Bob Odenkirk is really good in this. He plays another guy who works at the Washington Post. Bradley Whitford is amazing in this too. This might be his best performance since Get Out. And he's really, really good. But Bradley Whitford is great in almost everything. But if you like me and you grew up with Billy Madison, he played Eric in Billy Madison. That's how I first knew who Bradley Whitford. I'm getting the two wrong. So he's really good. And it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see him without a beard. So we get a clean shaving Bradley Whitford. His character, I can't think of his name, but we get a clean shaven We get a clean-shaven guy as a, yeah. So, he's really good in this. Bob Odenkirk is phenomenal. Aside from his performance in Nobody, which I covered on the channel, he's good in this too. I'm glad to see him do other stuff. The Better Call Saul guy. Great to see him do something like this. This was also put out by Fox and DreamWorks. Now, DreamWorks worked with Fox before, but it's like been the other way around. I'll give you an example. Road to Perdition, a Tom Hanks DreamWorks Fox movie I covered on the channel. But the characters are just so good, and it really ends. Phenomenal ending in the movie. The cinematography, I gotta talk about Janusz Kaminski. The cinematography is great. And John Williams does the score. This is almost similar to Catch Me If You Can, which is another Spielberg DreamWorks movie. Hanks plays a similar character in that, and the cinematography and some of the music cues in the movie are about one-on-one par. Would I say this is better than Catch Me If You Can? No. Catch Me If You Can is a really good movie. And it was really hard to say because personally to me, it was really, really well made and kind of really tells that really good story. But I'm getting ahead of myself though, and the story of these two people are just really good. I'm more or less rambling on this, but it's really good. And if I had not picked the best, if I had not done my best list, this would have been on, but unfortunately, I already had those movies locked into the 10 best. And even honorable mentions, I already have locked in the good section. But if I was watching this in the new year, sorry about that, guys. If I was watching this in 2026, then yes, this would have been on my 10 best list for sure. I still think Catch Me If You Can is a better movie, but that's all I'm saying. I'm trying to think of anything else before. Like I said, the scenes with Janusz Kaminski's cinematography, he's not in the movie, but the scene literally where they pan down like that, and then they pan up like that. I also forgot to mention Bruce Greenwood plays Robin McNamara. And they do go and talk to Robin McNamara, and he's giving questions to Kate. Her name's Kate Graham, but it says Catherine Graham. But Kate asks him those questions. And also, weird enough, there's another movie called 13 Days, which also had Robin McNamara, which also had Bruce Greenwood. So he played the president, and Robin McNamara is in that movie. So now he's taking on the Robin McNamara character. And Matthew Raves, who will go on to be Perry Mason and the recent Saturday Night for Jason Reitman, is in this, and he's also good. Performance-wise, stellar cast, great cast, just Oscar performances. I think Bob Odenkirk is like the best part. He's like the best part of the movie. This was, I think that's going to be what I'm going to talk about. So, at the end of the day, please seek out The Post. It's really good for what it is. And it has a sort of epilogue. Spielberg said in the featurette that there's an epilogue saying that he did this with Lincoln and Bridge of Spies. Now, I have Lincoln, but I don't have Bridge of Spies. So he did not in it, though. And I'm glad Spielberg still works with Janusz Kaminski, because there's a cinematographer. He's been his go-to guy since Schindler's List. And he's just great. Spielberg should have got a directing Oscar for this. It's powerful performances, great characters, setting is really good. I love that 1970s aesthetic into making a movie like this work. And yes, you need to see The Post. This is a good movie for journalism class. It tells you what the history of journalism is. It's kind of like almost like Spotlight, but I think this is better than Spotlight. Tell the story. I'm not going to tell you the epilogue, but I can tell you right now, it links into, you'll see. If you know the whole story, the history of all that with Nixon and Watergate, you probably already know that whole story. But yeah, seek out The Post. Really, really good movie. Phenomenal movie. And yeah. Wait, is there any flaws with the movie? Not really, but I'll explain when I get to the rating and when I rate the movie. So let's get to it right now. I'm going to give The Post. Now, before I rate The Post, I kind of went sort of, this is a whole seesaw, pendulum swing, seesaw kind of thing. I kind of went back and forth. When I rated this on Letterboxd, I originally had this as a 3 out of 5. But I watched a few featurettes and I read more into this. I had to bump it up at least by another point. So it was either going to be a 4 out of 5, was it going to be a 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. This was tough because at the last minute I decided to lock in, place my chips, locked in the rating, and I'm going to give The Post a 4 out of 5. It was a really hard choice. It's really hard to say whether this or Catch Me If You Can is good. I would probably say do a double bill of this and Catch Me If You Can. Kind of watch those two back and forth. And yes, Catch Me If You Can is the better movie. Because I had to give The Post a different rating than what I gave Catch Me If You Can, which is the best movie I watched this year. So, I don't know. It's just, it was hard to go back and forth. So, sure, 4 out of 5, I feel is the right rating. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. Anyways, go check out The Post. It's a really, really well-made movie. Phenomenal acting, great performance, phenomenal performances. The whole cast is stellar in this. Sarah Paulson plays his wife. And she was great. She was excellent as Marsha Clark in the OJ FX special. She was good in that. So every star, at least I would say Hanks, Streep, Bradley Wolford, and Bob Odenkirk all should have got Oscar performances. In fact, this is probably Bob Odenkirk's better performance since Nobody. I still love Nobody, but this is even better than that. So, yeah, go check out The Post. Go check out The Post. A really, really strong movie. A really good movie. So that's my review of The Post. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell. Ring the bell to get all the video notifications so you don't miss a single video on the channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check me out there. I rate the movies before I review them. So, like I said, I'm recording this on a Saturday, but you won't see this episode get uploaded until I believe Monday. But yeah, so I'm pre-recording now because something like that. So like I said, I'm gonna record tomorrow's review, but yeah, so then you'll see them early. So I just wanted to give you the heads up, guys. So yeah, check out The Post. Great movie. I loved it. I will watch this one again very soon, just as myself. And I will say, please seek out The Post. Really strong movie. So yeah, that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.